beautiful, welcome back. My name is Fatina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I am finishing up my Pan Those eyeshadows for 2023. This is my finale. I have been working on 5 shadows every month for the last 12 months, I guess. I've been using Makeup by Lainey's spreadsheet with eyeshadow prompts, and I'm here to share with you my finale and let you know exactly all of the progress that I made this year and the progress that I made since the last update. So if that interests you at all, then stay tuned before we get into the video. If you are new around here, make sure you subscribe down below. I am going to be doing Pan Those eyeshadows again in 2024. So I'd love for you to join me on that journey and make sure you're subscribed so you can get notified when those updates go live. Without further ado, let's jump on in to the finale. Makeup by Lainey has a spreadsheet of 100 prompts. From that spreadsheet throughout the year, I've been generating 5 numbers at a time to correspond with a eyeshadow in my collection. The last month I was trying to stack the odds so I could try and meet my goals. The random number generator didn't really work in my favor. So I have my 5 palettes here that I have been working on for the last month. I wasn't so lucky with, I would say, 2 of those shadows. The other 3, I was a bit worried, but I am happy to report that I did hit 3 additional pans over the last month to round out the year, and I'm going to share those with you. Firstly, I might start off with the complete and utter fails of the last month, and that comes from these 2 palettes. The prompts that I rolled for these 2 was prompt number 89, a orange shadow shimmer, and prompt number 92, a blue shadow shimmer. Now for those, or for the orange shadow shimmer, I grabbed for my Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. I rotated in the color Spiral, and I think this has been in the project for 2 months now. I didn't rotate it in last update, it was the update before, I believe. I still haven't used this at all, not one single use. So unfortunately we are finishing the year with a little bit of a fail on that one, as well, unfortunately, as this one. So for the blue shadow shimmer, I rotated in my Lethal Cosmetics single eyeshadow palette, and I grabbed the color Ascension, which is this one here. And again, no uses at all on this one, unfortunately. I just wasn't really feeling the blue and the orange over the last couple of months. I think as well, given that it was coming into Christmas season, holiday season, with lots of like Christmas parties and whatnot, blue and orange just wasn't really the colors I was reaching for. I was reaching for like a lot of goldy tones, like silvery tones like that. So unfortunately, those 2 were a complete fail. Moving in to the last 3, which were these ones. These were the ones that I was lucky enough to get a prompt to kind of stack the odds. So we'll scroll back up to the top of the list. So prompt number 20 was a random color generator. Now I randomly generated the color, like an olive green color, from a random color generator. To match that prompt, I rotated in the color Megabyte from my Pat McGrath. This is the Celestial Divinity Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette. This is the Christmas palette from, I believe it was like, not Christmas Just Gone, not the Christmas. This one would be probably 4 years old now, I believe. So I rotated this one in, and as you can see, I have hit pan on that one there. I find it quite easy to hit pan on the shadows in this palette. I don't know what it is. I find the shimmers in this palette really easy to hit pan on. I did manage to hit pan on this one with 16 uses. So probably a higher count compared to the other ones in this palette that I've hit pan on, but I'm still happy that I hit pan on it, 16 uses, and happy to have another pan in that palette, and that was for prompt number 20. So I am going to mark that one as a complete. Next up was prompt number 43, and that was a pan graveyard. So previously tried to hit pan but didn't. For that one, I grabbed for my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I decided to rotate this palette in, but I didn't rotate in the specific shade that I had previously tried to hit pan on. So I actually rotated into this project the color Faint, which is this one here. And as you can see, I have hit pan on it, but throughout the course of just introducing this and focusing on this palette a little bit more, you can see that I also managed to hit pan in the color Naked 2, which is this one here, and that is the one that I previously tried to hit pan on. So I'm happy to say that over the course of introducing this, I managed to actually hit 2 pans in this palette. So I'm very happy about that one. And then the last one comes from my Kaleidos Cosmetics Deep Sea Luster palette. I grabbed this one out for prompt number 68, which was a shadow that started with the letter Q. It was actually really difficult to find a shadow in my collection starting with the letter Q, but I did find one in this palette, and it was this color here called Queen Conch. Or Conch, I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but it's this one here. I managed to hit pan on this one, again with 16 uses on this one. So basically this one and the shimmer hit pan at the same time. I don't usually find that happens, but I will say this one in particular, and I've never had this before in like a manufactured pressed palette. This one had like a bit of an air bubble in it. So once I got to a certain point in this shadow, it kind of like collapsed in on itself, if that makes sense, a little bit. So I did end up like making essentially a hole in the eyeshadow because it had a little air bubble at one point when I was using it. Like I said, I've never had that before in a shadow. I thought it was very interesting. I don't know whether you're going to, I don't know, maybe I might be able to take a photo from an angle and you might be able to see a little bit what I'm talking about, because when you look on the side, you can kind of see it just doesn't seem to have been like mixed and pressed quite right. You can definitely see that there's like a bit of a gap between the shadow. So I'm still really enjoying this palette, and I'm not knocking the formula or anything like that. I do really like this palette. I think it's a beautiful palette. This is like the original Kaleidos palette. Not many people have this in their collection because Kaleidos was still kind of up and coming. And I did forget to say the color Faint actually took me quite a number of uses. It took me 22 uses to hit pan on this one here, Faint. That rounds out my pan those eyeshadows for 2023. I did manage to hit 14 pans this year in this project. I managed to hit pans in other projects as well. I am planning on doing all of the pans that I hit in 2023 video eventually. I just haven't been able to film that one just yet. But I did manage to hit pan on 14 eyeshadows in this project, which means 14 prompts were completed off the spreadsheet. In terms of those 2 that I didn't hit, so the Natasha Denona and the Lethal Cosmetics prompt, I am going to like clear them off the list, and they're going to go back in the rotation for next year. So they are going to be a candidate going forward again in 2024. I'm not going to mark them off the list as completed until I have actually hit a pan on that particular prompt. So going forward, I do still have a very large list of prompts to complete in 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this project pan throughout 2023. I did have not as much success as I normally have in pan those eyeshadows in this year, just given my breaks and all of that I had throughout the year. But, you know, positives came from the breaks, so it doesn't really, I feel like it kind of equals out. So that is my finale. Let me know down in the comments how you went on panning your eyeshadows. If you were trying to hit pan on some this year, let me know what eyeshadows you managed to hit pan on. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.